I was like, oh my God, I'm at the MCG. There's actually people barracking for me to kick goals. Yesterday I was playing ranked Black Ops 6 and someone's like, Jack Higgins.
No way.
That rattled me. I remember being up at 4 a.m. in the night. Mum stayed with me because I was so scared. Mum stayed in my hospital, like
all night with you,
like on the floor, and I was just like so scared. Like people coming in every 20, 30 minutes, checking on you, like doing your bloods and stuff. Anyway, I remember like saying to my mum, like, "Is this the last time I'm ever going to see you?"
Welcome to the show, Higo. Welcome to the WARNES podcast. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
No, all good. We were literally just talking off camera. We're having such a good chat. I'm like, hang on, let me just do the intro so then we can start talking. But we're talking about Gab, your good friend. Yeah. How was it like living with him? It's been awesome. He moved in with me, it would have been at the start of Feb, and I was 96 kilos, and he was sort of, when he moved in, he was a few weeks out from his bodybuilding comp. And so I sort of was like, mate, can you just help me? I want to sort of get really serious about my fitness and diet. Can you just help me get back into shape? And he said, of course. And since he's moved in, I've nearly lost 20 kilos. I'm currently down 16. Been in a bit of a maintenance the past 4 to 5, but absolutely loving it. How did you meet Gab?
So I went to school with him. I didn't know him.
This is at Caulfield, wasn't it?
Caulfield Grammar, yeah. I went to school with him. I didn't really know, but you know when you sort of go around people and you sort of have like these mental sort of images about people? Like I never really knew him. Like he was in a different house than me. He was obviously a year older than me, so you're above me. So it was interesting. And then sort of like 2 or 3 years later, he was on social media, I reckon during COVID, and I sort of just reached out to him and I just followed him, and then he followed me back. And it was a bit of a weird one because like I knew him, but then at school, and then I can't remember the first time my first interaction out. Maybe I was on his podcast he had back in the day. And I remember just like having all these like old stories with him about things in common. Oh, you know this bloke, or how about that teacher? And then we sort of kicked on. And I said before, he's such a great guy. He's willing to help everyone, and that's why I love him. And he's just honest. Yeah, like I've copped some harsh feedback from him, and like vice versa. But I feel like
that's the signs of a good trait of a good friend.
Yeah, of course.
When they can be honest with you. Like when he moved in, I'm like, I want to get really serious about my health and fitness. He's like, okay, well let's break it down. And he was just really honest. He's like, you can't snack. You've been snacking, and it sort of helps me just stay accountable as well. And when you see somebody that's so disciplined, I'm sure you'd be the same with your football club. But when you're in an environment with other people that are so disciplined or so locked in, it's actually motivating and inspiring because it makes you want to be better as well.
100%. And that's the one thing I really admire about Gabe. He's obviously a hard worker. Like, you know, like bodybuilding is not for everyone. It's a pretty hard sport.
Yeah.
And
people probably think you sort of just wake up, eat, train, sleep, repeat. But there's actually, you got to do your cardio, you got to recover properly, you have to eat, weigh your food. That's one thing I'd sort of never had done was weigh my food. Started doing it. I reckon weighing my food and tracking how much I'm walking and running was probably the two biggest things.
100%.
Because you sort of just pig out and you don't realise. Like I love Maccas.
Yeah, everyone does, mate.
Yeah, I love Maccas, and I had no idea the amount of calories or fats that's in it. And I'm not going to feel guilty now when I do eat it, but you don't realise how
much bad stuff's in there.
How calorie dense it is. But on the topic of school, you met Gab at school. Yep. Did you like school?
That's a very good question. Yes and no. I love my mates, and obviously went to a good school in Caulfield Grammar. So I went to DLR in year 7 and 8. Yeah, I loved that. All boys school was awesome. Like the riff-raff in the corridor you can't really have when you go to boys and girls school. Yeah. So I loved that. Year 7 and 8 was unbelievable at DLR. And then year 9, I went to Caulfield Grammar, which was unbelievable. Like I was really appreciative of the thing. And I sort of went through my schooling years, and I enjoy school. Like I didn't enjoy the learning part of it, but I've always had a few like learning difficulties, and that's why like I can screw up when I speak and all that sort of stuff.
But that's also just you being yourself. Like
you're
like one of the best things about you, especially now, is everybody is so media trained, whether it be sportsmen, business people, everybody sort of sounds the same because they want to go with the narrative or they don't want people to say anything bad about them. But with you, when you're on camera, ever since I can remember when you got drafted in 17 and then from your career onwards, you've always just been yourself 100% of the time. So whether that means you stuff up what you're saying or you say things you're not supposed to, that's your personality.
Nah, definitely.
Like, and that is what makes people love you and just want to be around you because it's so rare nowadays that you just don't get to see people's personality. Yeah, definitely. Especially in sport. So don't be like, oh, that's why it's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like this sort of like older I got, because like obviously I fitted in with all my mates at school and sort of stuff, but I always felt when I was at school, like I always felt like that that kid was good at football, but wasn't very smart, and corporate grammar like gave me heaps of help, like trying to get me through and all that sort of stuff. So at the end of year 11, I said, it's not really working out for me. I just feel like I'm wasting my parents' time and money here, and wasting the school when they could be helping someone who like actually does need the education. Now that was sort of for me, and like made that it was a hard call because they sort of gave me the opportunity to come to the school, obviously, and I had some really good coaches and really good. Obviously mentors out there, but it was a hard decision to make. And then at the end of the year, I said, enough's enough.
So am I right in remembering that? So did you say you left in year 11?
End of year 11.
End of year 11. Yep. But did you go back to the school and work in like a library or as a librarian or something?
Nah, never worked as a librarian.
But were you back at the school working there even though you weren't doing the actual curriculum?
Nah, so in year 11...
Or did you just completely cut ties with Caulfield and then focused on footy?
Nah, so year 11 I had because I had these learning difficulties in 11, so they sort of used to like give me like blocks of learning. So like I'd do 2 hours of English. I'd sort of be away from the classroom a tiny bit, and they'd give me 2 hours to do English and sport and stuff, and then I'd have like a 2 hour break. So like let's say in year 12 they have like a block out period where so I used to go in I don't know what it's even called, mate. That's how I'm going. But I used to go into the library for 2 hours, and it's probably Gab's told you something like that. I used to go in the library. Just
all the work in the library.
Just all the work in the library, have like a sort of private tutor come in with me and stuff like that. So I used to be in the library all the time. So it was good. Like I loved that, and like I had the best yarns in there because all the year 12s were there. I felt like the king when I was 11 talking to year 12s and year 10.
Yeah. Do you ever sort of miss school at all, or were you happy to sort of go, nah, I'm focusing on footy because it's paid off?
Yeah, of course.
Did you sort of already know, like when you're at school, whether it be in year 8, year 9 or year 10, that footy was going to be sort of your thing? Yeah. And you just were 120% all in on footy?
That's the thing. Like I'm not pissed off you, but that's the thing. I didn't leave school. I didn't leave footy. I didn't leave school to focus on football. Yeah. School wasn't for me. So I worked at a gym in Moorabbin. Moorabbin. Worked at the AFL House doing the umpires for a bit. Yeah. So it was awesome, man. Like I learned the thing, but like I didn't leave school just to focus on football.
So when you sort of finished school because you knew it wasn't for you, whether you made AFL or whatever it is, you wanted to sort of be in sport or be an active.
Oh yeah, just sort of be an active person. Like as I said before, like school wasn't for me. School's not for everyone. Yeah. I said I didn't want to waste my parents' time and money, so I said I'm just going to sort of make a thing. And I copped a little bit of backlash from obviously when I was going through that stage, you're getting recruited, why'd you leave school, footy, and like it's been 18-year-old kids talking to senior men. Yeah. You can't really sort of, at the time I didn't feel like I could really bite back and go, nah, I didn't. Yeah. So yeah, school wasn't for me. I really struggled. And like it sort of, I didn't leave school just to, and that's, I think that's a narrative on me that I left school to focus on football. Yeah. Well, it wasn't at all because I was hardly rocking up to many classes. Like I was doing this, I was wagging school a tiny bit.
It's actually a really cool perspective because probably not many people, especially I, didn't know those reasons for leaving. And it's actually cool because you don't hear, like especially so many people want to go to school to make their parents proud, but you've actually sort of helped out and made your parents proud by saying, look, I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste your money. You guys can have it. I'm going to focus on, and to say that at sort of 16, 17 years old, like I don't think I've met many people that would have had the courage to do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like I felt like I was...
Like it's courageous.
Yeah, definitely. Like I felt like I was in the Matrix.
Yeah.
I was in the Matrix by going to school.
You were stuck.
I was stuck in the Matrix and I was like, how do I get out of the Matrix? Yeah. By going to school because I was like, this ain't for me. I'm not going to end up being a doctor. I don't... Yeah. For the future job I have beyond football, I won't need to go to school.
Well, school's probably the only thing in 100 years that has never changed. Yeah. Like with the amount of technology there is now, with the amount of different jobs, with everything there is in the world now compared to 100 years ago, there are so many different things. But school and the curriculum and waking up and the hours you work and the subjects you learn have not changed.
Yeah, of course.
In 100 years. Yep. And so it's lots of people sort of compare it to a prison, that school is sort of not actually teaching you about anything. It's sort of just preparing you to work a 9 to 5 or... It's sort of adjusting you to what it will be like to wake up, go somewhere, come back. Like it's people's perspective on school is just very different. Yeah. And I think like people that are growing up now with technology, and I don't think obviously school is very important, but it's probably not something that has the same effect on kids nowadays. Yeah, like so many people at a lot younger age are realising that school isn't for them, or that they can make more money not going to school because they can focus on other things.
On a trade or something like that,
Yeah, definitely. On a trade, online, whatever it is. Yep. But no, that's really fascinating to hear about your school.
Yeah.
So when you finished school and you're working at the gyms and doing everything else, you were still playing, was it for Oakley?
Oakley Chargers, yeah.
Still playing for Oakley?
Yeah. That was good fun.
I remember when you used to verse East Sandy, I'd finished at the time, but every time, I think as well when you were at D-La, everyone was like, oh, the Higgs on that team, the Higgs on that team.
Nah, not at
and
all.
I reckon I heard people on our team as well say you'd kick like 8 or 9 goals in a game before. Had you kicked like in juniors more than 6 or 7 goals in a game before?
I can't really remember. It was a very long time ago when me and you were running around. Because I remember you playing.
Do you?
At East Sandy. Yeah. You played with Nathan Murphy and all that.
I did. Charlie Constable.
Yeah, Chook.
Yeah.
So I remember you, and I remember playing you guys. It's a funny story about you, because obviously everyone sort of knows you because you're a great bloke, and everyone knows like, oh, he's Shane Warne's son. So like I remember seeing playing you at Trevor Barker Reserve, maybe.
Yeah, on Beach Road.
On Beach Road, maybe like under 13s, 14s. I remember seeing your old man, and I reckon it was Aaron Hamill.
Yeah.
We were walking around. I was like, how good's this? This is the best thing ever. So yeah, that's pretty funny. I always remember going against you, and I had a few mates go to your school as well. So I sort of didn't know you personally, but sort of knew you, and if that makes sense.
Yeah, and you, I think when you were at Gather Round, you bumped into Hamill.
Aaron
Hamill.
Yeah, Hamill. Yeah, we were staying at the same hotel as Carlton, so bumped into him. Had a good chat about you actually.
Yes.
No, he's a great man. He used to be wasn't mine, but he was the coach down at St Kilda. He was a backs coach.
So would that been in 2021?
2021. So I was there. I think he was there a few years before me, but it was last year, and then he went to Carlton.
Yeah, his career sort of always played at Carlton, then went to Saints, and then when he sort of finished at the Saints, was always coaching with the Saints.
Yeah.
Me and Dad always wanted to sort of be the head coach. We just thought that would be awesome for him, but that sort of never happened, and now he's, I think, the backs coach at Carlton.
Yeah, he's tough as nails. I remember being tough. Down at the Saints, and he'd make you do commando rolls and one-on-ones after training. Like he's tough, and that's why he probably played. Yeah.
When you were, because we're talking about the Saints, you obviously, so wait, we'll go back to Oakley Chargers.
Yep.
When you got drafted, you were playing for Oakley Chargers?
Yep, Oakley Chargers, yep.
So would that was in 2017?
Yep.
How did Oakley Chargers go that year? Did you win a flag, or did you just get randomly picked up?
So we had a pretty good year at Chargers. I think we made the semi-final, some of that. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but we had a great young kids there. A few blokes got drafted out of there. So that was really good. Like, I really enjoyed my time, and I was there because most people at Oakley or Sandy are private school. So because I'd done the both, and then in my 18th year, I was just obviously public because I didn't get out of school anymore. So I was just with all the public boys, which is elite. So I really got along. It was really good. We had a really good coaches and stuff like that. You know how it is. Like it's hard that 18th year because everyone at the start thinks they can get drafted, and people start dropping off, and then people start putting in the mock drafts, and then people are going, who's he going to? And then you start having interviews. It's a massive process. And if I went through it again, definitely I'd do it differently. Yeah. The way I approached it. But
when you say you go through it differently, do you mean in sort of in like your preparation or?
No, not really preparation. I just think the way I handled myself.
Like, did you think you were already going to get drafted?
No, never that. Just like the way sort of some like opportunities got presented to me, and I didn't really take them with full effect. And the way I probably spoke as an 18-year-old kid, like, as I said before, like when you're talking to club recruiters and they're saying, oh, you dropped out of school to focus on footy. What was the footy that doesn't work out? Like, I should have just been my true self. It's like, well, school wasn't for me at the end of the day. Yeah. Like, I should have just like stood up to a few people.
So did you used to say when people asked you that, did you say, yeah, well, that's why I quit school because I wanted to focus on footy?
Yeah, now I'd be like, I want to be the best player I can be. And looking back on it, obviously hindsight's funny, but I should have said no. That was the best decision for me to be my person, because school's not for everyone.
And did you say that to try and impress the agents or the people recruiting you at the time because you wanted to sort of say, no, this is how focused I am on footy. I'm so focused on footy that I don't even want to go to school. Yeah.
That's what I said. I was just stuck in the matrix again. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You're asleep.
Yeah, I was asleep in the matrix. So I just sort of would have handled it differently, and like probably would have come out there as an 18-year-old kid, and just when I did a few interviews and stuff, I should have probably mentioned it. And I just felt like I was sort of that player that in the draft, you know, when you get pigeonholed, while he's put everything into football and that's all he's got. Like if he gets listed in 1 or 2 years, like he's going to be cooked. But I would have handled, I would have handled it differently, but I wouldn't have changed it now. That makes sense. Like it's all worked out in the way.
And you can only like look back and reflect once it's been a certain amount of time, and obviously at the time you're making the best decision you think is possible.
Yeah, of course.
And so you can't knock yourself for saying that, because obviously you're 17, 18 years old. It's like you're in the position to get drafted and play at AFL, and I'm assuming for you that would be a dream come true.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it's a dream come true to get into that position, because so many people, it's their dream to play AFL. But I'm pretty sure you'd probably know this better than me. The average lifespan of an AFL player is 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. Yeah, on the dot.
It's 3 years. So you hear so many stories of people that get drafted, then footy's not for them, and then they sort of don't know what to do.
Yep.
Had you sort of had, in other words, like a backup plan if footy didn't work? Like, what do you think you'd be doing if footy wasn't an option, or that was never even an option, never even think about it?
I did think about it, obviously, because everyone's sort of like, what happens if I do make it? And then everyone's going, he's dropped out of school to make it, and I don't make it. So that definitely went through my head, especially first year of AFL football. And I was sort of like, well, if I don't make it, I'm just going to be that failure, and I'm just going to disappear into the world, and everyone be like, oh, Jack Higgins, he dropped out of school and he didn't even play an AFL game. So like that was sort of my motivation going through my first few years of AFL football. It was like, I used to feel like that was sort of that was a narrative on me that, geez, he dropped out of school. Geez, he wanted to be a good player. So that's what I sort of felt. But I wouldn't change it for the world, as I said before.
Yeah. And so when you got drafted to Richmond, was that just like you've sort of, okay, I've been drafted, I can sort of focus on footy now, those thoughts of what happens if I only play one game or whatever, are those thoughts gone, or are you still thinking about them even though after you've just been drafted?
No, I'm not really thinking about them after I got drafted. Them sort of thoughts went thing. It was probably more pre-draft, and probably made me train harder pre-draft. So yeah, like once I got drafted to Richmond was probably was probably awesome. Was definitely awesome.
Yeah.
18-year-old kid. Yeah, that's all I dreamed about doing. So it was awesome.
And it was also the year that Richmond had just won the flag, in 17. So you're sort of going to 2018, first year of footy, thinking, oh my God, we might win a flag again this year. With you being sort of 18, 19 years old, are those the thoughts you're having? I can't wait to win a flag. This is the best thing ever. I'm playing with Dusty, all these things. Are you having those thoughts?
Not really. When I first got drafted, I was sort of like, geez, it's going to be hard to crack into this team. That's probably my first thought. Like, they've just come off a flag. They got superstars everywhere. That's what my first thought. And I was probably just thinking, how do I get a game? Yeah. How do I get a game? And it's just about training hard. Obviously, everyone trains hard, but like going up to your coaches. And I was always pressing Dimmer, and I was always pressing my line coach. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do extras? So I thought like the harder I train, the more opportunity I get. That's my whole life sort of attitude. The harder I work at something, like if you want to be a chippy and you just keep doing work, you're going to get better. So that's what I thought like.
Yeah, you're sort of, you've sounds like you've got the mentality of you're only getting what you put out. And so yes, you've been drafted, and yes, you're playing for Richmond, and yes, they've just won a flag. But like you just said, they've got a bunch of superstars, and for you to find your way into that team, you have to either outwork everybody else or just, when you get that opportunity to play, blow everybody away.
Yeah, take it, yeah.
And you sort of did that in 2018. Goal of the year. Was goal of the year 2018? Yeah. Goal of the year. Could have you ever possibly imagined you'd have that sort of as an accolade on your resume? It's pretty cool to say you had goal of the year.
It's awesome, man. Like it was a pretty good goal. Like I thought I was probably when I kicked it. Like I knew I'd probably win it because no one's ever done that. No one's ever done that goal before. But it's pretty cool. Like I look back at that year, it was incredible. I think it's the best Richmond team. Even though they won 2 flags after that, I think it's the best Richmond team. You look back on that list, 2018 team. I think that was the best list, and we obviously got done the Mason Cox game where he tore us apart. But I thought that year, not that I'd walk into a grand final, but when I was playing and we were playing some pretty good football, and I obviously thought, we're going to be a very good chance to win the flag here, if not steamroll everyone. Yeah.
What's been the difference sort of from when you first got drafted to sort of now being able to look back and being in this sort of AFL system for 7-8 years? Is there anything that sort of has surprised you, or from the outside looking in, you didn't think sort of AFL players would have to go through that, or?
Oh, not really.
Sort of all expected. Because why I bring that up is because I think not many people realise how many AFL players actually, especially after a game when they go on their phone, they get so many messages on social media of people saying they've cost them their multi or they've cost them, X, Y, Z, and that can actually affect some players. Like heavily.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not sure. Are you someone that like looks at a message and you forget about it or delete? You don't. Are you quite mentally strong?
Yeah, I think I'm quite
you?
mentally strong. I don't think maybe I haven't been losing many people's multis this year, but I haven't got one of their messages in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it doesn't matter what you do. If you cured cancer or you kicked the winning goal in the grand final, people are still going to find a way to pot you. Always find a way to pot you. So it's whatever ducks back. I know it's very cliche.
Yeah.
But like, I don't really care what Joe Blow at the pub says. And funny enough, you say that. Like, I did something, the other week. It was like a post and he goes, it was like from a mate's company I'm doing a bit of work for.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, he's a dumbass. He's the dumbest footballer, but he's a gun though. You know what I mean? And like, you look at their thing and you probably like backhand compliment.
Yeah.
You look at things, this boy couldn't kick a football. Or,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, that's the hardest thing I probably have to deal with, especially being young and coming out as an 18-year-old kid, because everyone thinks I've been in the system for 13 years. Like when I first got drafted I first got traded and Ross came into the club, Ross thought I was like 32, 33 because I've been on the scene for a long time. Because in my first year I sort of bursted out onto the thing. Like normally people do that. Like people sort of keep, and then when they start hitting good
slowly
form,
go up like that.
Slowly go form. So that's probably the hardest thing, was just being myself for the journey. And I've obviously stuffed up a lot of things I said, but I take pride in the way I go about it.
And even when you say stuff up, it's like it's not a stuff up at all, because you're being yourself. And I think the real stuff up is when people are not being themselves.
Yeah.
Like one bit of advice that always sticks with me is when my dad always used to say, just never try and be someone you're not, and be yourself 100% of the time.
Yep.
That way you never get caught up in bullshit. You don't have to try and remember what certain people, or like how you're acting or what you said to someone. Because if you're just always honest and you're always truthful and you're always yourself, that's fine.
No, definitely.
Like just always be yourself. But why I bring up also the phone situation and social media is because when Dad was first got drafted, when he first started playing for Australia, in the early 90s, they didn't have any social media. It was only really newspaper and the news, and he would always used to cop it. He used to cop it all the time. He ate all the pies, he's fat, he's overweight, he smokes, all these things that your typical athlete, especially someone that represents Australia would never do. But he never, ever let it affect him. And he always let his cricket do the talking.
Yeah, of course.
So whenever he was in sort of the public eye or he was ever getting backlash for something, he'd just let his cricket do the talking.
Yeah, of course.
And surprisingly or not, he used it as fuel.
Yep.
Like you just have to use it as fuel.
Course.
Do you use that stuff as fuel as well?
Yeah, definitely, man. Like, it's crazy. Like, obviously, when I said that stuff about Adelaide, like I was copping it. Like I was walking down Adelaide and I was copping it everywhere from Adelaide.
Yeah.
Adelaide people. And like you use it as fuel. Like it's hard not to notice, like especially these days with the social media and all your friends. Like even like sometimes like your mates can share like stuff about you and that you don't want to see. So it always comes up. Like let's say like there's a scandal about Jackson Warne, and I'm making this up. Poor old Johnny down the street sends it to you and your mates with him. I was like, mate, I don't want to see this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it always comes up, and you got to use it as fuel, because if you cop it, you're just going to be drowning your own sorrows.
Yeah. You definitely can't let it beat you. And anybody that's ever leaving anything sort of negative or hateful, they're never doing well.
Yeah, of course.
Like you never see winners or people that are successful take time out of their day to hate.
Yeah, of course.
You just never see it. But you bring up a good point of seeing things you don't want to see. That's just the media.
Yeah, of course.
Like there's still 3 years on after Dad's passed, there's still negative articles about Dad every day. Yeah. I sort of make it a morning routine that as soon as I wake up, I always look up Jackson Warne, Shane Warne, then my sisters and mum just on news, click, have a read. Yep. And usually there's at least 1 or 2 articles of Dad every single day. Yep. Just, there just is.
Yeah, from all over the world.
From all over the world. And whether that be negative or positive, people still talking about how he passed away, all these different things. I'll always talk about it. But if I actually took attention to that, or if I read the comments, or if I let it affect me or change my perspective about Dad, I think, 1, I would be sort of losing, and 2, he wouldn't want me to do that.
Yeah.
So if I could give you advice, I would be just, you have to use it as fuel. And just don't even pay attention to it, because the media will write anything about anyone just for clicks and views.
Of course. And that's what I see about it is like, let's say there's a massive story about me today. 2 days later, everyone forgets about it. Everyone forgets about it. It's just like a passing storm. You know what I mean? Like 2 days later, it's all forgotten about. So just like live your life how you want to get lived. Especially me, as being an AFL player, I knew as a person of interest. Just live it, because even if you do something good, you're bad, everyone's going to forget about it. It's yesterday's fish and chips paper.
Yeah.
Is that the way?
Yeah. That's good.
I said that right.
No, that's good. And it's
I
such
loved
a yeah. No, it's such a good, it's so true, because so many people get caught overthinking or reading one article or a bad photo, and they're looking at it all day or reading it all day, that they actually let it affect them. They let them affect it to, it gets to the point where they don't want to leave their house or they don't want to do anything. And it's like, mate, tomorrow no one's going to know.
Yeah,
in 2 to 3 days, you'll forget about it. And in a week, you'll be like, oh, why was I even thinking about that? And so that's especially for somebody like you that has to perform week in, week out. If you can have that mindset, especially at such a young age, that's a really good trait to have. Because so many people, when they're older, they just get caught. They just get caught. What's the transition you found from Richmond to Saints? Was it easy transition, tough transition?
It was an easy transition for me, obviously. Because
you love the Saints.
Yeah, I love the Saints.
There's the famous footage of you as a kid holding up the Saints. I was watching your players show, and you're like, oh, I have no idea who that is.
That guy was,
eating. Was it? You thought a Snickers or a Mars bar or something?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, hopefully it was a Snickers.
Yeah.
So coming across St. Kilda was like awesome. Like, I always grew up around the areas of Moorabbin, always back from as a kid. And not that it really had anything to do with me getting a trade. That, I went to St. Kilda and I absolutely loved them. Because when you get sort of the 16, 17, 18, geez, I think I'm a sniff to get drafted, you sort of leave your old club and stuff behind. You sort of just
are grateful if you get drafted.
Sort of, and you sort of watch like more the whole AFL, more just St. Kilda. So my love for St. Kilda sort of disappeared a bit when I was 16, 17, 18, because I was like, there's a 1 in 18 chance to go to St. Kilda.
Do you mean 16, 17 years old? Or when you were
16, 17 years old. And then when I sort of played for Richmond, I had no idea what St. Kilda was doing. Like I'd always just watch the games. Knew all the players because obviously you played against them and all that, and you got drafted with a few of them. But so I sort of my love for St. Kilda sort of completely dropped off in a way. And going to the club was sort of like something like you sort of expect it, but you don't. And at the end of the day, it's an AFL football club and everyone there's there to perform. So that's what I sort of felt like. It was sort of just an easy transition because I'd already seen what a successful club in Richmond did. And obviously St. Kilda hasn't been the most successful and we're a bit younger list. Yeah. But I sort of try to implement them habits from what I saw, the Trent Cottrins of the world, and
of course how they
sort of worked and all that.
So would your day to day when you're driving into Punt Road at Richmond and then you're driving into Moorabbin, are your days at Richmond and your days at St. Kilda quite similar, or are they quite different?
Nah, quite similar. So we obviously do everything's similar. Everyone's this is what I've figured out about the AFL. Everyone's the exact same because one club copies the other club who's had success. Yeah. One club in the preseason does more running, they win the flag. All right, boys, we're doing more running. One club does more weights. You know what I mean? So it's a cycle, and every club sort of copies every club. But it's just about finding what I feel like is finding what you're good at and honing on what you're good at.
Focusing on one thing.
Obviously, everyone's got weaknesses. Gary Ablett Jr. had weaknesses. Your dad had weaknesses. My dad's got weaknesses. Everyone's got weaknesses, but your strengths, absolutely capitalising on them, and obviously picking up the weaknesses a tiny bit. But putting your strength out and show every week, I think that's the main thing. And I think being in the system for 8 years now, that people don't focus on their strengths enough because they're trying to. Do you think they're trying to do too many different things? They're trying to do running, kicking, marking, tackling. Well, some of them they're not. So let's say I'm not the most contested mark because I'm a small player. I'm not going to go working on contested mark. I'm going to go work on snaps for the next 20 minutes. And I may do 2 minutes of thing. But people listen to feedback, and sometimes I think they take it too literally. So let's say Jackson, you're not a good contested player. Well, then they do 2 hours of work on being a contested player, but the strengths is being an outside player. Yeah. So they're not
even going to be in that situation anyway.
Yeah. So go work on being an outside player because that's what you drafted you for.
Yeah. So when you're going to the Saints and you're training at the Saints, like let's say for example you're training today or tomorrow or yesterday, whatever it was, you train with the team.
Yep.
And then is your extra work that you're doing as a forward? Are you doing more goal setting or more? What's your sort of the extra work you're putting in to be a better player?
Yep.
Are you practicing on goals on the run, set shots?
Yeah, goals on the run. Goals on the run, snaps, set shot. But I think the most important thing for me was for this year and was training in the pre-season, like the pre-season. I think that's the most important things you can do because when you're at the club, you're sort of limited because they're all following you about your GPS and this, that, the other. So me, Bailey Smith, who's obviously killing it at the moment, like an absolute superstar of the game, one of the best players in the game and thing, we'd be training 5 days a week in the off season. So we'd train like a madman, and like just to see how hard he works. He's the hardest trainer I've ever seen in my life.
That's
to
awesome.
see how he went about it. And obviously last year,
and it's making a difference. See, that's why people go, why is he so good? Well, he's literally telling you and giving you the blueprint. He's working harder than you guys. His pre-season starts earlier than everyone else as well.
Of course. And just see Bailey go about it, like he'd be dragging, like, sometimes you can't be stuffed doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, boys. So we wake up. So this is
So
how.
are you doing pre-season
with him and pre-season. So, like he went to America for like, he had this deal with Monster.
Yeah.
Or wherever he had it deal with. He had Monster. I was like, boys, we're training at Gotcha's Paddock 5:30 a.m. on a random Tuesday. I'm flying out to America at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
We're training before. So he comes from his house, drives down, comes, trains, has these massive speakers, pumps them, and he just absolute workhorse. The bloke is the hardest trainer I've ever seen.
Wow. And that is, so when would that start, your pre-season? Is that like October, November?
So like 2 weeks after the season. So
2 weeks after the season's like finished?
Yep.
Like 2 weeks after the grand final?
Yeah, so I have 1 or 2
So like
weeks
even
off.
October?
Yeah. October, yeah. I don't like going away. Like I like going on sort of trips with the boys.
Yeah.
But like other than that, like it doesn't really interest me going to places because I can do that after my career. Like I'm sound like a maniac.
No, it sounds like you've actually got a plan.
Yeah.
And I think lots of people don't have a plan, and that's where they find themselves after they've finished footy, either in bad financial positions or they don't know what to do with their life. It's sort of, they get really confused.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you have identified a plan, and that when you finish footy, there's things you want to do. And like, even if you're putting off these holidays now because you want to put in the extra work, like that's really unique.
Yeah, cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I think like having Bailey there training with me is like unbelievable. Like he pushes himself so hard. Like he gets stuck, me and him get stuck into each other when you yell at, if you fumble the ball, fumbles or something like that. And my dad comes down, he sort of just throws the footy, pumps him and kicks him back and stuff. But the way Bailey trains is
So who else
incredible.
was at the pre? You, Bailey?
Me, Bailey, few blokes who play for VFL, Coburg, and Connor Downey used to be on Hawthorn's list. So we'd train there before, then do a running session, and then do craft after. So that'd be about 5 or 6 days a week in the off season before actually like before the pre-season started.
That's amazing. And how did you get to meet Bailey? Because he would be a year below us, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
he was
year below us, yeah.
At Xavier?
Yeah, Xavier College boy. I've known Bailey since I was 13, 12 years old.
Yeah, because he's a gamer as well.
Yeah,
loves his Fortnite.
Loves his Fortnite.
He's not a COD man though, is he?
No COD man. So
yeah.
loves his Fortnite, Bailey.
Yeah.
So we played at the same East Malvern club, and I was like, geez, he's just
East Malvern. That's
Malvern
where I
Knights.
used to watch you play as well. Not Oakley. You be East Malvern, like
Knights.
the blue and sort of brownish jumper.
Big night. Yeah,
Did you used to play with like Charlie McGaw,
Isaac Morrisby. There's a few names for you.
Morrisby. Yes, you guys used to like be such a threatening and scary team.
Yeah,
East
we
Malvern.
played against Bowie a few times. So that's how I know Bailey. So I sort of went through there, and me, Dad, and Bailey would sort of get in the car in the pre-season. He loved Gary Ablett Jr. Loved him. So he'd get there and we'd just train, like do 30 minutes kicks before, like always do one-on-ones with him, and then sort of when we both made AFL, it sort of fizzled out a bit, like the relationship. Obviously, he went in his different direction. I was at Richmond, he was at the Dogs, and then last year we saw him. I was doing some extra training down in local park. And we saw Bailey, and because Bailey was just coming back from his rehab and doing his rehab in his knee. It's like, he's like, can I come for a kick? And I was like, yeah, mate, come, like just like the old days. And then we sort of, not that our relationship was damaged or anything like that, but we sort of rebuilt the relationship. And then I saw how hard he works and how much he wants it. He's an ultimate professional.
Yeah, and I think there shouldn't be, like, just because you lose touch with somebody doesn't mean the relationship was either gone or damaged, because like you create, especially at such a young age, what I found with some people, when you're going through either suffering or really hard training or you're achieving goals together, you're actually forming a sort of bond with this person. It's sort of more than a relationship. So no matter how much time passes from when you've last seen that person, when you see them, it feels like you saw them yesterday.
Yeah, of course. And so it's funny, like even with Bailey, like we were talking about stuff, like because I always go on like sayings. Like my saying now is like, yeah right. You know Tony Brown? No, he's a PDM at down at St.Kilda. Like he always goes, yeah, right, and beauty boy. So after the game, so I've been saying that for the last 3 weeks. So I said every time someone kicks a goal, and now let's everyone be yelling, beauty boy. So Bailey, anyway, getting back on the Bailey Smith story, is I used to go, she loves it. Like that was one thing I was saying when I was like 15, 14, and then like we training.
Did you get that from horses? She loves it.
Oh, I don't
watching
know.
horses? No.
Nah. It was what I was saying. Yeah, so like all the old sayings and stuff I had back in the day. So it's cool. Like I've known Bailey since 13, 14. So like so awesome to see him killing it. And hopefully wins the Brownlow this year.
No, that's awesome. I hope he does as well. And then Bailey as well. You guys versus Geelong. I went to the game. Was that round 2?
Round 2, yeah.
Or round 3? Did you manage to catch up with him there?
No, he was laid out.
Oh, he did not play that game?
Yeah, laid out. Didn't play that game. So no, it was good. But we play him later this year. Yeah, GMHBA. So hopefully he doesn't have that too good of a good one.
Yeah. Do you like playing down at GMHBA?
Yeah, it's all right. It's a smaller ground. Any footy ground with playing against AFL players is pretty good. But I'd rather play at the G than GMHBA. But
the G's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Pretty cool.
Yeah. How's that sort of describe that feeling to me when I'm not sure if it's the same feeling as when you did it for maybe the first time or the 10th time, but when you're walking out of the club rooms and you're running up the race. Sure. Does that feeling ever change any amount of times that you've done it, or is it still like the first time running out the race every time you run out?
Obviously, sort of, it's going to sound me bad to say this, but like when I played my first game for Richmond, that was like, oh my God. Because I played like a few junior games at the MCG, like under 18s, like special talents players and stuff like that. So you play a few games.
I think finals.
Yeah. And that was at Marvel. Was at Marvel,
okay.
I never played in the TAC Cup Granny, but like you play like these young gun games before the AFL Grand Final. But like when I first played my first AFL game there, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, I'm at the MCG. There's actually people barracking for me to kick goals and barracking for Richmond. And I didn't have the touch my first quarter. And I was thinking then, I was like, at least I can say I played one AFL game. That was my mindset. Like, I didn't have a touch in the first quarter. I ended up kicking 2 or 3 that game. But I was like, geez, it's going to be my first and last time in the MCG. I'm never going to play another game again.
Yeah, it's pretty unlucky that St Kilda don't get to play as many games, I'm assuming, as Richmond at the G, do they?
Nah, I think we get 2 games there a year. And we play one for Spuds match, which is great. But then we play we play Richmond later in the year there.
So have you only played 1 game so far at the G this year?
Yep, 1 game at the G. And then you look at Richmond or Collingwood, they're playing every week there.
Yeah, so. I think I might be getting the numbers wrong, but Scott Pendlebury out of his 400s played like 230 at the G.
Yep.
Imagine playing 230 games at the G.
It's pretty good, looking back on it.
Yeah. Do you reckon there's many sort of AFL players that play for these interstate teams that will only get the chance to play sort of at the G maybe once a year or twice a year? Yep. If they're going to sort of a grand final, they're at like a disadvantage?
Oh, I reckon a tiny bit. Yeah.
Tiny bit?
I think the MCG's it's like every ground is different, but the MCG has something about it.
Yeah.
Not I think they're at a massive disadvantage, but I think if you're playing like a Collingwood or a Richmond there, I think they've got a massive advantage on you just because they play there full time. Like in the NBA, if you're playing game 1 and game 2 at home and you play game 3, game 4 away, that sort of makes sense. Like it makes a massive difference who wins and loses. That's what my personal opinion is anyway.
What do you think about the MCG makes it so special? Is it the scale or is it the history of it or is it just because it's the MCG? Are we a bit biased because we're from Melbourne or?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think just how big the ground is, obviously, and it's a bigger dimensions than most grounds and longer than like, let's say, a Marvel. And then it helps football, so there's more football more than any sport because there's more space, more pockets to get into. And I think just like the history of it as well. Like I love Steve Smith. I love him. I got a dog named Smudge after Steve Smith.
Do you?
Yeah. Love Steve
awesome.
Smith. So like every time I'm there, I'm like, Smudge made 100 here. Yeah, I mean, like that sort of stuff. So like, I sort of
you associate that place with Smudge,
and that's what I do. Like with a lot of things. Like it's like I associate stuff with a lot of different people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now I must ask. Don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. But the scar.
Yep.
And everything that happened with your brain and all of that, the whole big part of your life when it happened. Do you ever think back and look back at it as it's something that is traumatic or something that you don't even want to think about, something that you've sort of grown out of?
The scar, yeah. Well, obviously when I was going through all the operations and spending ICU for about 4, 5, 6 weeks, like it was definitely hard at time. But like I look back at it now thinking how much of a better person I am for it. Because
you weren't, like it was not like out of the blue. You were just on your like a day-to-day when it happened or you got the phone call saying you need to come in for a scan.
Yep.
Because were you playing footy and you were really dizzy?
Yeah, so the story goes, so I played a game, can't remember what game it was, but I played a game and I was like, geez, I'm not feeling the best. This is like 2 days after, day up, day night. Like I had really bad like head spins, like really bad headache. I'm like, this can't be right. Anyway, so I was driving back from my girlfriend's house in Hampton, and I remember driving home one night. It's like maybe like on the Monday night. We still played on the Sunday against someone. On the Monday night, I was on the Peen Highway, going for a drive, like driving back at 3 a.m. because my head was like, it felt like I had like the worst headache ever. Like I felt like I was hungover, the worst thing you could ever imagine. Anyway, I'm on the Peen Highway, and I started getting blurry vision, and sometimes back in the day I could get like a blink in my eye. Mate, I feel horrific. Anyway, I'm driving my Jeep down. Back then when I had a Jeep, I was driving it down the Peen Highway, and do you know that that car shop? Oh, you know the one on the corner.
The Peen Highway, the Peen Highway North Road, Little Town.
Yeah, Little Town. So I'm about 400 meters up, and I'll never
opposite the KFC.
Yeah. I'll never forget it. I've pulled up. I was like, got out of my car, like, put the hazard lights on, and just got out of the car and just laid in the middle of like the grass bit, not the middle of the road, the little grass bit. I feel daft. Like, this is the worst thing ever. My call dad's like, pick me up. And he's like, oh, you right? It's like, nah, just pick me up. I'll explain to you later. Because it's like 3 a.m. Like, I knew the only person like who'd answer my call was Dad. So I called him once and he answered. Actually,
that's awesome. Very clutch. He's clutched up for sure.
Clutched up anyway. So I'm just laying there. He's like, just don't get in your car. Just stay there. Just if you can, pull your car onto like the green bit. Park it there on the green bit. Anyway, so I'm just lying on the Peen Highway on the middle. I'm like, oh my god, it's like I feel like horrific. Anyway. So I laid there for 20 minutes. Dad picked me up. Like, you're not going back to sleep. Like, we don't know what's happening. I'm taking you into the club tomorrow. I'm going to drive you into Punt Road tomorrow, and we're going to get a scan first thing in the morning.
So there was no feeling of pain. It was just dusty vision, bit of a migraine or a very big migraine, and you just knew something was wrong.
Something was wrong, like vomiting, just vomiting heaps.
So you're vomiting as well.
Heaps, yeah, vomiting heaps when I had it. Like, this is so weird. This can't be.
So
like,
something like this had never happened to you before?
No, I felt fine. Like, I lived like a normal life and this, that. Anyway, so we went into the club the next morning. It's like, oh, yeah, I think he's got a bit of a migraine. That's what I thought. Like, at the time, we got a bit of a migraine. And he's like, Dad was like, let's just get it scanned. Yeah. Let's get his head scanned. Like, there may be nothing wrong, but there could be a small chance. Mum and Dad were there. Anyway, so me and Dad get in the car, drive Punt Road. The boys are doing recovery. I'm there. We drive into Amy Park where they have the scanning machines. I haven't slept for, mind you, 48 hours. Like, could not sleep. This headache was horrific. Like, I felt like it was so bad. Anyway, I drive to Amy Park, and because people, I didn't realise this, but the people at Amy Park can't actually tell you what's wrong with you. Like, the scanning people, like, let's just say you've done a hammy, they can't say, Jackson, you've got to go through. You've got to go back to a doctor.
They can just tell you that you need to go get further testing.
And have you ever been in a scanning machine before?
Scanning?
Machine?
No.
Anyway,
touch wood, I've never broken a bone. The only thing that's like funny with me is you see my thumbs?
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, right.
I can't do it on that thumb. I can do it on this.
Jeez.
And that's from when a footy landed on here put it out. But that's the only.
That's crazy.
That's my only trick I've got.
Only thing. Anyway, so I was in the scanning machine. I fell asleep, and the scanning machines are so loud. Anyway, about 10 minutes later, the scan gets done, and 3 people come rushing in.
At this point, is all of the pain that you've got the migraine, is that all still there?
Yeah, it's still there.
So you've been dealing with this pain for probably 48 hours.
Anyway, so the scan come through. I knew something was wrong and they couldn't tell me, but 3 people come rushed in, like pulled me out of the hospital bed, and they're like, we really recommend you to go to the nearest hospital now and go thing. We've already organised it. So I went down, Dad and me. This is like around 13th of the year. We drove down from the scanning. We drove down to the nearest hospital, the Etworth Hospital. We sort of like, they're like, go to emergency. So you need to get your head checked out. Anyway, Mum and Dad are like, oh, what's wrong? Club doctor calls and he's like, he's got something pretty bad with his head. Let's get a professional's neurosurgeons.
So the club doctors are talking to the scanners as well.
Scanners, of course, because they get the scans. Like,
and
no one would have seen it anyway. So I go into the thing, and I remember like going to the hospital. They're like, all right, we're sending you in for a scan right now. Neurosurgeon's going to be with you in the next 30 minutes. We're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this. And then anyway, come out of the scanning machine, because I had to get another scan at the Etworth Hospital. They said, well, tomorrow morning, 6 a.m, you're the first person in. You're going to be the first person we work on. And then he said everything, mum, dad, girlfriend, we're in there, and they're all bawling eyes out. I had no idea. No one told me what was going on. Anything was going on. The surgeon's like, this this surgery, that your first surgery have, it's pretty safe, but there is a chance you'll never, you could die, you could never see again, you could lose obviously vision, you could be like impaired some part of your body because obviously work on your brain here.
Yeah.
So they went through my groin the next morning. I remember being up at 4 a.m. in the night. Mum stayed with me because I was so scared. Mum stayed in my hospital like
all night with you,
like on the floor, and I was just like so scared. Like people coming in every 20, 30 minutes, checking on you, like doing your bloods and stuff. Anyway, I remember like saying to my mum, like, "Is this the last time I'm ever going to see you?" And then she just broke out crying. I broke out crying. Anyway, the guy comes into me again. He goes, "Jack, I just want to let you know this is a very risky surgery we're going to be doing on you. This is the things happen. Are you happy to do this?" I'm like, "Yep." I remember like getting wheeled away and going, "Fuck, is this the last time I'm ever going to be like the person I'm going to be?"
And like, especially at your age when nothing like there was no signs prior, these are probably the last things, 48 hours before, these are probably the last things you ever thought was going to be happening and definitely. The thoughts you'd be having.
No, definitely. So I went through that procedure and they went for my groin and I was in the worst pain of my life. Like I wanted to it was going to sound really bad. Like I wanted to kill myself. I was nothing like a human being. I was like, I hated, like I was on drugs, like
you just didn't feel like yourself.
I didn't feel like myself. I felt sick all the time. I was vomiting. I got down to like 69, 70 kilos. Like I was just like, oh, I just don't want to be here anymore. Like this is not for me.
And so was this after the procedure?
Yeah, after the procedure. Yeah, so I went through there. I just felt like horrific. They shaved my head. I had a bit of hair back then, but they shaved my head.
You've got hair now.
Yeah, of course. I'm not bald.
Hair now. Look at mine. I'm getting bald.
No, it looks good, man.
I'm doing this with my hair now, and it's just getting thinner and thinner. And every time I'm having a sauna now, I put my hand through my hair, and it's falling out. So I think I need to get on Dad's advanced hair studio and get the laser hair therapy.
Yeah.
Maybe go to Turkey.
Yeah, Turkey with the fake teeth as well.
Yeah, I would love to get some fake chompers. Yeah, no. So continue through with your hip. That 48 hours after. Because how long from when you got the hip? Did I read as well that the hip, when they did that surgery, it didn't work?
Yeah, so I had a hip and then I was in ICU for about a week or two and I was in hospital for about another week after that and then finally got discharged. Like, we think everything's gone well, Jack, but you're going to have a follow-up scan in another 8 weeks. I'm like, you beauty, I'm back. I'm sort of, I couldn't run, I couldn't walk. And they had really good mates. Shout out BD and TD. They were at the hospital and my girlfriend every day.
Catching up with you?
We watched Love Island every day.
You?
Yeah, there's
the UK season?
Yeah, UK. Molly May season.
Well, there you go, Kai. That's one of Kai's favourite persons.
She loves that.
Yeah, so was that, the Molly May, Tommy Fury season.
Goated. So that's what got me through. Season. And we used to illegally get it earlier than it would at 9. So anyway.
VPN to somewhere in England.
Yeah. We're VPN to Turkey.
Turkey.
So that's what happened there. And anyway, I come in 8 weeks later, put through the scan machine and I got out there, I'm sitting in the waiting room because all the surgeons got these special officers and stuff like that.
Sorry to cut you off. During these 8 weeks, though, from when you've been discharged, when you're getting your next scan, are you thinking or feeling physically you're fine?
Nah.
I still feel something?
No, I don't feel bad in my head because I thought it's funny what your mind does because I didn't feel anything in my head. Obviously I still felt horrific, but I was like, nah, it's all done now. I've just lost a lot of weight. I'm just feeling bad because I've had a major surgery.
When you started eating, and were you training during these 8 weeks?
No.
When you were eating, were you putting the weight back on, or was nothing was okay?
Really good. I was still 69. I've got this photo on my Snapchat memories where I look like a jockey, man. I've got no fat on me. It's funny you say that. I just look so skinny. Anyway, so I go in the surgeon's office and he goes, we've just had the scan, and he looks at his whiteboard and he goes, "Do you want to hear the good news or the bad news?" It's like, "Oh, mate, give me the good news first." And he's like, he's a great bloke. He's like, "Oh, you're going to be spending a bit more time with me." I'm like, "What's the bad news?" Well, the glue didn't stick because I had a brain aneurysm. So it's I hope I'm right by saying this, but you think of a pipe with water. Yeah. Like a bit of blood was sticking out.
And
you know what I mean?
Coming out rapidly.
Rapidly.
Yeah.
The glue didn't stick. So I've just got a random piece of glue in my head, just floating around there. Unless he took it out. He didn't tell me he took it out. But anyway, so then he's like, we're going to see you. You got to not eat for the next 24 hours, whatever it is, 12 hours. We're going to go again on you in 12 hours' time. I'm going to stay in hospital. So I was like, this is horrific. I'm back in hospital. St. Vincent's goated, but I was like, I'm at St. Vincent's hospital.
And you probably, before getting all these scans and speaking to the doctor, because you felt like you thought it wouldn't be as bad as what the doctor was telling you.
Yeah, of course. So I had this scan. They shaved my head again, and they put all these like...
It's probably just growing back?
Yeah, of course. Just dots on it, on your head, so they can see through the thing. Anyway, I was like, I can't do this again. The mental state I was in, the worst, how sick I feel. Like, this is going to be absolutely horrific.
You just
I can't do this again.
Didn't want to lose the weight again. Didn't want to go
through
the process
weight,
again.
The way like my whole body felt was horrific. Like, I didn't feel like I felt like a shell of a human being. I felt like I was just wanted to die. I said before, I just felt horrific. And I'm like,
was it probably, what did you feel was worse, your physical health or just your thoughts and your mental?
Physical, definitely physical.
So because you're losing the weight, you can't be running, you're not training, not kicking the footy, all these things, is that why you think you were having the worst mind thoughts all possible?
Nah, well, not even that, because when I did have the first surgery, the doctor said, well, there's probably a good chance you never play football again. So I sort of swallowed that pill, and like I felt like I was sort of getting back to normal health, like I was going on small walks. Anyway, so went through a scan. Anyway, it's like, we're going to have to go through your head this time. I'm thinking to myself, wow. The last thing I went through was hell. I went hell and back. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to go through it again and go through the brain, which sounds like it's way more invasive.
Going through the brain.
That's what scar the second time around. But I thought this is going to be so much worse. Anyway.
Pretty good scar.
Yeah, it's elite.
Pretty cool scar.
That's elite. I always say it was just from a shark attack.
From a shark attack?
Yeah, love that. Anyway, so I ended up getting surgery. Anyway, the second time I had surgery, like I felt like shit again. Like I was like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I'll lose weight again, go through the same process. But it wasn't as bad as the first time.
Yeah.
Even though they opened my thing up, anyway, the surgeon comes in before again. I'm like, it says the exact same thing. You could lose this. If I touch something wrong in your head, you could be obviously disabled or you could die in an instant. I'm like, nah, mate, I back you in. You did a good job first time, even though the glue didn't stick. But you're going to do a better job this time. Second time, lucky. Anyway, went in again and surgery went well. Had another week or two in ICU, whatever it was. Had another 3 weeks into thing. And then ever since I got the third surgery, it's like, mate, everything went well. We could see what was wrong with you. We fixed up the thing. We've got 16 plates in your head, middle plates, to keep your head together, obviously, because it's what. Anyway, so you got 16 plates in your head. We've seen what's wrong. We've done with it. Let us know how you feel in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Once you've been discharged from hospital, we'll have care. You'll be in ICU for ages, and then you sort of build your way out. Anyway, I remember leaving the hospital at this time, and it was like, all I want to do is play round 1 next year.
Yeah.
Well, that was the first thing. Anyway.
When you got discharged, though, the second time, was it night and day difference for how you're feeling?
Yeah,
or was
definitely.
Definitely?
Night and day. Like, obviously didn't have any weight on me. Couldn't get down any food at all.
Yeah.
Couldn't eat. What else couldn't I do? I couldn't see. So, like, I listened to, because Richmond, obviously, in the season, then I used to listen to the games because I couldn't watch because my vision was all blurry. I had, like, you know when you do that with your eyes? Like, that's what it constantly was. So I couldn't see.
You know what that means if you couldn't see? It means you could never play COD again.
I know.
It means you could never play COD again. Could you imagine?
No, mate. You shell of a human being.
I've never been able to play COD. Shit.
I know. So that's what happened. Anyway, so I remember going out of the hospital. It was like, we used to, me and my old man, and we used to I'd do like a K walk, and then build up next day to 2Ks, next day to 3Ks, next day to 4. So we just build up
you're
the
noticing
walks.
physical
changes.
physical change. You're getting stronger again. Your endurance is there.
Yeah. So I used to go, because I couldn't be around people at that stage. Like, you could be like around, like, obviously, like your parents and girlfriend and all that sort of stuff, and the girlfriend's parents, but like you couldn't go into like social things because I would get seizures.
Yeah.
So like I would go to the
Just
club.
too overwhelming.
I'd go to the club. Like one time I went to the club, like they're like, come in and see everyone and at Richmond, and I ended up getting a seizure from going there because it was just too much stimulant. Stimulant, I think that's the word. It was too overwhelming anyway. I just ended up having like a small seizure.
Yeah.
And then I sort of built back, and then I'd train with Robert Innes. He's now the head of strength and conditioning at Carlton, and he was at Sydney before that, top man. We used to go in at 4:30 you'd stay behind and you used to train, like you lift, like we'd be doing like 40 kilos on doing bench press and feeling like an absolute king. We're doing 40 kilos. Like I'm an AFL player, I've already played 70 AFL games and I'm doing 40 kilos.
And
we're slapping it up.
Yeah, and you're probably used to doing 90 or 100 for a few reps.
Yeah, 100%. Nah, not even that. Maybe 80 if I'm
80?
lucky. Sort of come back and that sort of, anyway, I ended up playing. I ended up going to the club. I hadn't been in the club, like seeing all the boys, and the first time I saw him was 2 days before grand final day. It was like on the Thursday, and me, because Rancy was coming back from an ACL at the time, and I was obviously had my head thing, so we was running around laps, and everyone got around us because obviously Rancy's a star. I've just come off a brain surgery, and then the first time I actually like really saw the boys again. So I sat there on grand final day, and which is pretty awesome. Like obviously I wish I was playing, like, but I was sitting up there, and then after the game I sort of go in the room, see all the boys, slap it up with them, like, oh hey good day, you just want another flag, another one. JJ Khaled,
another one. Yeah. Well, firstly, sorry you had to go through that, because no one should ever never have to go through that, and you had to go through it twice. Yep. 2, to be able to say and sort of recover and get over that, and then actually come back to AFL and perform is unbelievable. And 3, the resilience that you would now have and the perspective you'd now have being able to go through that. I'm assuming you'd have such a unique perspective now that when you're even just getting the chance to go to training every day or to play another game of footy, you'd be so sort of appreciative and grateful just to be there.
No, definitely. And that's the thing, like I always look back on I wish it didn't happen to me. I wish it didn't happen to my worst enemy, even though I don't have a worst enemy. But I'm so grateful I went through it, because now I've got a different perspective on life. It's just funny when you're in that much pain and you're hurting that much, like how quickly life can flip on its head, or people can pass away. So I felt like I got another chance on life. That makes sense. Yeah,
and I know it's probably nothing. It's not similar, but when I lost my dad, because of the shock of that it was to me, I could never possibly thought I could live a day without him. I couldn't possibly think he's actually not here. And now that it's sort of been over 3 years, and for me to not only be able to look back at what we've achieved with the legacy and the amount of checks we've got, or even before you were saying with how I talk, if my dad hadn't have passed away, I probably wouldn't have achieved any of those things. And of course, I wish that had never have happened, but sometimes things happen in life which you can't prepare for. And then when it happens, you either adapt and you either thrive from it and you become a stronger person, more resilient, all these positives, or you let it beat you and you become a negative. Yeah. So I think your story of getting over the brain and all of that sort of traumatic experience and coming out the other end stronger and still playing footy and playing good footy, 2023 and 2024, leading goal scorer for the Saints, and you're still leading this year. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. I think that's like one of the most things I'm proud of, is like the way I sort of bounce back when, like, as obviously you're a gambling man and big poke man, when the odds are against me, I sort of bounce back and sort of proved, like, not a lot of people wrong, but I proved that I can still do this and I can still do it to a high-ish level. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, obviously, like, even coming back to before, like, that, like, I wouldn't have, if I did never play an AFL game again, like, I was always thinking about, this is really weird, but I was thinking about, everyone said, oh, he dropped out of school to only concentrate on football. But I was like thinking that to the hospital, well, like, it's 2 years later.
Shit, they're going to be right if I never get to play footy again.
Well, it's a year and a half later, and I'm in the trenches here. Like, imagine I didn't come back and play. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone would be like, I was right. Like, all he did was focus it. And, like, no one can guess you're going to have a massive injury like that. But that thought did cross my mind, that everyone was saying, oh, he did it to concentrate football, and then football could have been taken away from me like that.
Well, it's just, you should be super, super proud of what you've achieved at such a young age and still going to achieve, because not only, one, you've beaten this traumatic experience, but 2, you've not only proven to the people that doubted you, but you've also proven to yourself that you can still play good footy.
Yeah, of course.
So, mate, you should be very, very proud of that.
Yeah, well, like, I think, like, I look at, like, I obviously don't know, like, a lot of people's other stories, but, like, I think because I only can say what I can say, but in Australia or in the world, like, I think I'm not one of the most resilient people, but the comeback, where I come back from being on doors.
From being told you may never play footy again, and you know there is a chance you could die. Yeah. And when you're also having those thoughts, I want to kill myself, but then you're still playing footy and you've still made it out there and you're playing good footy. Yeah. Like, that is that's something that no one can ever take away from you.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you know your brain, you know your thoughts, you know your body, you know what you can achieve now.
Yeah.
That if something does happen in your life, at least you've got the perspective of, well, that's what I've already gone through.
Yeah.
What I'm about to go through, I'll be able to handle a bit better or from a different perspective.
Like, even that's the thing, like, even if, like, let's say I had a bad day or I haven't played the best game, well, I'm like, bro, stuff that. I've come back from one of the hardest things any human being has probably done.
Yeah.
Come back and playing professional sport. Not any human being's done, but, like, I've come back from a really traumatic experience here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who cares? You had to have a bad game. Because I've been through, never been told I could never walk or possibly die on the surgery table to come back and play, let alone walk or do exercise, let alone play in elite AFL football, elite professional football.
Where does that, like, resilience come from? Have you always been from a young age really resilient, or did your parents, were they really tough on you and they taught you to be resilient, or did you have a sporting hero that you loved and he was really resilient? Like, where does that come from, your resilience and sort of persistence to just always want to be better?
Yeah, of course. Well, I looked up, especially like when I was coming through like the system, I was looked up to, like, mainly cricket players because I love cricket. Like, I used to love, as I said before, like Steve Smith and all that sort of stuff. And it's funny you say that. When I was actually going through the surgery, I'd be up all night because I couldn't really sleep, and I had like people checking me. But the Ashes are on. The 2019 Ashes, was it?
Yeah, 2019 was the Ashes.
Yeah, Ashes. Yeah, 2019 Ashes on. So I watched them, and I remember seeing Steve Smith get hit in the head with the cricket ball by Jofra Archer.
Was that? I think that was in England. That was at Lord's.
Yeah,
I reckon I was there.
I was there.
Yeah.
Oh, you were there.
I reckon maybe not that exact game, but I was there for the Ashes in 2019 because Dad was commentating.
Of course.
For Sky, and then we went to the Dunhill.
Dunhill.
The Dunhill's like a pro-am golf tournament in
beautiful.
Scotland that he used to play every year. I think he played maybe 15 or 16 years. And but sorry, I'm getting sidetracked.
No, I love it, man. You're best talking to business.
Thank you.
What was I saying?
You were talking about...
I was obviously in hospital, and I was watching like the Ashes going on and all that sort of stuff, and I'd be like, I've just seen Steve Smith get hit in the head cricket ball. Like, I can do this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just like take like small things, and like when Marnus got his opportunity, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain times in your life and things when you take your opportunity.
Well, I feel like life's like, it's obviously life's about a lot of things, but I feel like life's a lot about how, when you get an opportunity, how you react. Because in life, you may not get a lot of opportunities to either be great or perform or to be in the public eye, whatever industry you're working in. So when you're given those opportunities and you perform, you're just so proud of that.
Take them with both hands.
Exactly. You have to take them with both hands. So you saw Smudge get hit in the head, and you looked at that as sort of, if he can get over that, I can get over this.
Yeah, sort of thing, yeah. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's pretty cool. Like, I had my own private room and stuff like that. And like, I got treated like royalty when I was in hospital.
Yeah. Have you ever reached out to Steve Smith and told him all these things?
Nah, I wouldn't. Like, Steve Smith would know.
You
know who I am.
You should. 100% he would.
Nah. Maybe I'll have to get you to tee that one up for me.
Maybe,
get a private message from the schooner scorer and him.
Yeah. Did you see the video of the schooner scorer and
Steve Smith? Yeah.
Maybe you just sneak off to the pub down, what's it called? Old Mates in New York.
Yeah.
Just
Old
go
Mates.
take a quick trip and say, sorry, fellas. Sorry, Ross. I just need to quickly catch up with Smudge down at the old pub.
Looked late.
Yeah. No, I reckon he'd know who you are for sure. And I reckon if you told him your story of not only how powerful it was when you saw him get his head knocked and what you went through, how to be able to compare it. Your dog's called Smudge. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love him.
That's so
weird to say that.
No, it's not weird. It's good.
No, I love it. It's going to sound so funny you say this, but you seen that on Amazon Prime.
The test
when he cracks it.
Yeah.
Like, after he
when
got run
JL's
out.
the coach and everyone.
Yeah, no, he got ran. Steve Smith got ran out.
Oh, and he comes into the room.
Yeah, rooms, and he goes, "Oh, what's he say?" He
the
goes,
bat.
"How do I get in the wicket like that?"
Yeah.
That'd be right.
Yeah.
And every time I have a bad game, not a bad game, but I have like an average game, I'll watch that, or we have a bad boss, and it brings a smile on my face because everyone goes through it, even the world's best.
Yeah, well, it shows that they're all sort of human.
Yeah. No, I think that the test was a elite doco because you can see like these guys do get paid a lot of money. They're the best in the business. Like how many world championships with Australia won? Like they dominate everywhere. Maybe not India, but like they make runs left, right, and centre, and they go through. Like obviously, cricket's more of an it's a team game, but individually.
Yeah.
Like so, you can see like what they go through.
Yeah, like it's not a sort of where AFL where there's a lot of moving parts. It's a team sport, but there's two batsmen and then there's one bowler.
Like when your old man was bowling, like you know what I mean. Like it's like him and the first batsman. Yeah. That's all it is. But like for a small forward, obviously, like I could be in the best position, but we turn the ball over. You know what I mean? But in cricket, it's just like me versus you for 6 balls, and then you know what I mean?
Psychological warfare.
Yeah,
Dad used to call it.
Nah, definitely, Dad was the best at it. Ever.
Yeah, he was. I hear and still see so many stories. That's one thing I'm really lucky with. Like, obviously, it's sad he's not here. Like, I wish he was still here, but I'm really lucky that footage never dies.
Yeah,
so, for example, I can always go on YouTube and look up all his masterclasses or
I've watched
records
them
or
a few
the
times.
masterclasses.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah,
they're pretty good.
Elite.
His last one he did with Rashid Khan, I reckon, was one of the best. With him and Rashid Khan, I'm pretty sure it was at the MCG. They went out and they had one stump in the middle. Yep. And they were both, because Rashid Khan's a spin bowler. You've seen that one?
I've seen that one. That's
Rashid Khan bowls it at like, I think, high 90s, low 100s leg spin, whereas Dad was always sort of high 70s, low 80s. Yeah. And just to see that 20-kilometre difference, both bowling leg spin, how different it was. Yeah, of course. But it was so cool. Dad hadn't bowled, I don't know in how long, but stump was there. They go back, bowl it, spins, bang, hits the middle stump. It's just so cool.
Yeah, of course. And that's we had one of the people come into, I can't remember, it was at St.Kilda, Richmond, maybe a few years ago. But they were talking about your old man and how he had this individual coach. I can't remember what his name
Terry
was.
Jenner?
Yeah, that's the one. And it's saying like, if you really want it and you really want to improve on your game, like there's always ways to do about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to get that outside work.
Yeah, of course. Because at the club, that's what a lot of people don't understand is that like I may go into a main training session and I may only get 4 touches because it's 16 minutes of match sim or 2 touches. So you got to get through the outside work to hone your craft. So when you get the opportunity, you can do it.
Well, that's like, I'm pretty sure it was Fev, where he used to, after each footy training, he'd go down to his like local park and try and kick 100 goals or something.
Yeah.
And after he's kicked 100 goals, then he would go home.
Yep.
So it just shows you the people that always succeed a little bit more than the rest is they're always the people outworking everyone. Exactly like what you said with you and Bailey in the pre-season. You're just outworking everybody.
Of course, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining, Higo.
No worries.
I would love to just quickly do some rapid fire questions.
Yeah, love it.
Just in closing.
From you.
All right. FIFA or COD? I pretty much, you've
COD.
already answered it. You said COD. Ice bath or sauna?
Sauna.
You love your saunas, don't you? Wear the hats. Well, you've pretty much answered this as well. Sharon or PS5 controller?
Sharon.
Really?
Yeah.
So you'd pick footy over...
Oh, well, if I got paid the exact same, like let's say like I was earning $5 million a year playing PlayStation or $5 million.
Let's say footy, you quit footy and became full-time streamer, gamer, getting paid, let's say, the same or more as your footy wage, what would you pick?
That's the hardest question that anyone would ask me. Probably...
Or no comment.
Nah, probably football because money can't buy the like you're never going to play in front of 100,000 people at the MCG. You know what I mean? You can't buy that.
So do you reckon about footy, if you could pick one thing from footy that is your most favourite thing to do or the best feeling you get to experience, that is playing at the MCG in front of a big crowd?
Yeah, and kicking a goal, obviously.
And kicking a goal and all clapping?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
awesome.
you can do anything in your life. It's probably like your old man when he took a wicket. Like nothing's will ever beat that. Well, maybe having your first kid.
Yeah, well, it's like you're just on euphoria. Yeah. You know, you've got. That's why you see all these artists or people in bands when they finish their concert, they're on such a come down because they've just had 50 to 100,000 people cheering their name for an hour to 2 hours, and then you get off it. Like that's a lot of energy to take in from a crowd. So when you sort of on that come down, you don't know how to feel, you don't know whether you want to do it again or whatever it is, but it is a pretty unique experience.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm glad you got to experience it because Dad always used to say, MCG especially, he said when he took that 700th wicket in 2006, that was the loudest he's ever... Were you there?
I was there, yeah.
No way?
Yeah, I was there, yeah.
In 06?
06, yeah.
When he got the 700th wicket?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I used to... Even now, like I go to every day I can to the MCG for the Boxing Day. I love the Boxing Day test.
That is awesome.
And it's awesome seeing like your old man's name up there. Like even when I play footy, like I always look up, like, oh my god, that Shane Warne. You know what I mean? Like,
when you see the Shane Warne stand,
yeah, pretty cool. I remember like going through. Anyway, a little short story. I remember going into the MCC museum. I remember seeing someone
downstairs on the
hologram, like your old man, like you know what I mean, like just seemed like me because I love cricket.
Yeah,
like that's Shane Warne, man. Like not blowing wind up your ass, but like it's pretty cool, man.
That's awesome. That was it's like while we're talking about the MCG. That's probably like one of the only places in the world where I actually feel like I'm really at home.
Yeah.
Just because he's got the Shane Warne stand.
Yeah.
He's got the statue.
Yeah.
He's got the hologram downstairs. and he's got so many records
there.
at the MCG, whether it be hat trick, 700th, like he has so many
calming down the crowd.
Calming down the crowd. He's just got so many iconic moments and memories at the MCG that I used to call like Dad's office.
How many years did he play professionally for?
Well, funny story. He first started playing in 91, 92 and then retired in 06, 07. So he was playing for Australia for around 14, 15 years, maybe 16 years. But because he used to smoke, we always hated him smoking. We said, okay, when you finish cricket, will you stop smoking? He said, of course, I'll stop smoking. But then when he retired in 07, he then got approached to be the captain and coach of the Rajasthan Royals in the IPL, which started the year after he retired. So he played that in 2008, 9 and 10. And then and 11. So he played that for 3-4 years. In 08, won the premiership or won the championship in the IPL. The first and only time his team's ever won it as well, the Rajasthan Royals. He also did it with the cheapest and youngest team. Like it was such a cool story that they were actually going to make a movie on it that 2008 season.
Yeah, right.
Because Brad Pitt's Moneyball? They wanted to do like something like that for the 2008 season where Dad was captain and coach.
That'd be huge in India and even Australia, everywhere.
It would have been so cool. But then, so he kept smoking because he was still technically playing professional cricket. And then when he retired from the IPL, he started playing the Big Bash.
Right.
So then he played 2 years at Melbourne Stars in the Big Bash.
I remember that. I used to obviously mum and dad are MCC members, so I remember going to seeing the Shane Warne, even when he was playing away, when they used to go on the mics, mate, I'm going to bowl him a leggy, and you get him out next ball. Like, man, like
to Brendan McCullum.
Mate, it's like you can't even write that sort of stuff.
It's pretty cool. And then, so he was still smoking when he was playing there. And then when he finished at Melbourne Stars, we said, okay, you finished now. You're done. He's like, yeah, okay. But then he did the Cricket All-Stars with Sachin, which is where Dad had a team and Sachin had a team, and they both picked 10 to 11 players, went around all of America and played at baseball stadiums and performed in front of the American crowds. So he was still playing professional cricket. And then at that age, he was sort of 46, 47 years old, and he said, when I turn 50, I'll stop. So that's my sort of. How do we even get talking about that?
I don't know, man.
Anyway,
Tangent.
That's how
we
were
the
talking.
MCG, weren't we?
We're talking about the MCG, but that's why I love the MCG. If you weren't playing footy, what do you think you'd be doing instead?
Pro streamer.
That's what I said to Kai before the podcast. I said I'm going to ask the Hig. I like that question. What I reckon it would be, and I said I reckon be pro streamer, gaming, maybe IRL streaming,
I show speed.
I show speed. Imagine I show Hig.
Even better.
No, well, mate, thank you so much for
thanks for having
coming
me,
on.
man. You're a legend, man. Keep a good work up.
Thank you, Higo. Appreciate it.